Good morning, my name is Allie and welcome to my first sit down YouTube video alone. I am about to go to work and so I thought it would be fun to do a little get ready with me and do my makeup and kind of just chit chat with you guys. So I have my coffee, I just showered and blow dried my hair a little bit. I did my skincare and so I'm gonna start my makeup. But normally for work, I don't do all that much makeup. I feel like I like something just very natural, minimal, glowy, but it doesn't take me all that long. So I usually like to start out with the Sephora Multitasker Face Brush. So I'll use this. I use the Elastin Hydra Tint Pro Mineral Sunscreen. This one has broad spectrum SPF 36 in it. Apply a little bit of that all over. I feel like it just gives a nice kind of sheer tint to cover any redness, but it's not thick or anything. So I think that's really nice, especially for a long day. I feel like it's nice that it's so light on the skin. And I thought it'd be fun to just tell you guys a little bit about myself since this is one of my first few YouTube videos. But my name is Allie, I am 26 and I grew up in Washington State. Actually just moved to Arizona in like March of this year. So I've been here for, what is that? April, May, June, July, August, about 6 months now, which is so crazy. It does not feel like it at all. I feel like I still remember when we packed up all my stuff, drove the Penske with my car on a trailer from Washington to Arizona. So it's just crazy. And it was my first summer here. And honestly, it hasn't been as bad as people have said. It's been more of a mild summer is what all my patients have been saying, but it honestly has not been that bad. The 115 days I do think are very toasty, but I don't think it's all that bad, honestly. Especially during the work week, I'm inside mostly anyway in AC, and so it hasn't been all that bad. But maybe in a few years, once I'm used to it, I think it could get hard to be in. But if you're from Washington, you know there's so much snow there in the winter and it's cold and it sometimes can even get to like 1 degree or even less. And so I think I'd rather take the 115 heat over the snow. All right, and I just went in with the NARS Radiant Concealer, Radiant Creamy Concealer. This one's in the shade Macadamia. I am almost actually running out of it, so I think I'm gonna try to go to Sephora and maybe try some new products I feel like could be fun. And then sometimes I like to go in with the Merit Foundation Stick. This one's in the color Camel. And sometimes I like to just do a little bit to cover up any other areas. I know I just did concealer, and so this might make it feel a little bit more thicker, I guess, but the Elastin tinted sunscreen is so light that I don't really think it makes that. It doesn't make my makeup feel too thick or cakey or anything, just because they are such lightweight products, both the Merit stick and the Elastin. Perfect. Sorry about the noise if you could hear that. Maisie, my dog, she keeps scratching at the back door because we had a lizard get into our apartment and she's now obsessed with hunting lizards. So she was scratching at the door. This is the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I've been using this one for years. I think I started using it in high school and it's just my favorite setting powder. I do like the MAC powder also. This one, it lasts me so long that I could probably go a year and not need a new one. So just like that. And I always like to use a setting powder. I do like a glowy look, but I feel like throughout the day or once my makeup sits for about an hour, I feel like the powder transitions to a nice glow versus if you don't use a powder, it would just stay a little bit more on the shiny side. I'm gonna use, let's see here. So this is the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in the shade Party. And I found this blush, I think Sephora was doing like a one of the birthday gifts was this blush in a mini size, and ever since I used that years ago, I love this blush. I'm gonna do some highlighter. So this is the Jaclyn Hill highlighter in Exposure, I believe is the color, but it's just a nice like shimmery brown. It gives you a good bronze, and I just do a little bit on my nose, tiny bit on my cheekbones, just like that. So I went to University of Washington for 3 years, and I lived in a sorority. The first 2 years we lived in the house. So the first year you were in a sleeping porch with like 40 other girls. And then my sophomore year, you got your own room with one other roommate in the sorority house. And then my junior year, me and 4 other of my friends, we got a live out is what we call it. And so it's just a house. It's kind of in the like Greek area. It's like a few blocks away from campus. So that was nice. We could just walk over to campus when we had classes. And then, so that was 2019. So then COVID hit. And so I was only actually over in Seattle for 6 months of my junior year, and then everybody ended up being sent home. So I went home, finished out my junior year of college back at home, and then I had gotten into nursing school at Lewis Clark State College down in Lewiston, Idaho. And so I ended up actually not even going back to University of Washington in the fall. I moved down to Lewiston. So I moved down there, and then I started nursing school in fall of 2020. And I lived down there for 2 years. I did nursing school down there. And then in 2022, I graduated from nursing school. I had done my practicum in the NICU at a hospital in Spokane. And so I ended up getting a job offer in that same NICU. So my first year post-grad, I have to concentrate when I do my brows. But anyway, so my first year post-grad, I did night shift in the NICU, and it was good for the first little bit, but I am not a nighttime girly, and so normally just my body likes to get up a little bit earlier and then go to bed earlier. Like I've just never been a night owl growing up, and so it was really hard for me to do night shift. I know some people love it and they do it for 10 plus years or their whole nursing career, but towards the end of my 1 year, I felt so burnt out. I felt like a walking zombie 24/7. I just felt so tired. I didn't want to really do anything on my days off just because I felt so drained, and I was still recovering from not sleeping. And I feel like my eating schedule was so off, my sleeping schedule was off. And so when I got to my 1 year, I ended up looking for a outpatient job, and ended up getting a job at a surgery center. It was an outpatient surgery, so pre-op and PACU. And a lot of people really like pre-op and PACU, and so I was expecting that I was going to love it. I was going to be there for years, and that just was not the case for me. I hated it. I felt a little bit anxious, especially in PACU, just because I didn't have the background with adults. I had my first year post-grad in the NICU with babies, and so I felt like PACU I just didn't feel as comfortable with. Pre-op I did really like. I thought it was fun doing the IVs. That was fun, but I stayed there for a short while, and then I ended up finding a position in a dermatology clinic, and that was doing Mohs surgery. So I had never heard of Mohs. Actually a really cool procedure for skin cancer removal. And so you take the cancerous skin, and you basically, the surgeon is removing it layer by layer to clear the margins. It's all under local anesthetic, but as a Mohs nurse, you are checking the patient in, you're going over their health history, vital signs, you are prepping them for the doctor to come in, rooming them, you are bandaging, patient care, wound care, doing a lot of hands-on, and it was actually a really interesting job. I loved it. You got to see so much cool stuff, and then a lot of the times with the repairs, it was either just like a simple closure or you did flaps and grafts, and so sometimes you have this area that is pretty large, and then just being able to see how the surgeon decides to close the area. So whether it's letting it granulate for like a week or more, and then putting a graft on it, or doing a graft and a flap combination, it was just really cool to see how they decided to close the area. And so if you ever have the opportunity to even just shadow or see how Mohs surgery is done, I think it's such a cool procedure. But so I worked there for almost a year and a half. Oops. I worked there for almost a year and a half, and I loved it. It was such a cool experience. But I ended up getting the opportunity to move to Arizona. So me and my boyfriend, we moved to Arizona in March, and it was just time to make that jump. So moving, a new job, even though I really was content and happy in my current job, I knew that I'm young, and so the next step and move out of state. So just moved to Arizona, and I still work in a outpatient clinic, and I love it. It's 5 days a week though, which I think is a little bit hard. Ideally, I would like to work 4 days a week, but I work 5 days a week right now, and it does suck getting up every single day early, but Mondays and Tuesdays are my late days, and I am able to sleep in a little bit. I'm able to take Maisie for a walk, ready a little bit more. So it is nice. And then Wednesday through Friday, I start at 6:30. So I do start a little bit earlier. I don't have time to do much before work, but that's okay. I get off a little bit early on those Wednesday through Friday days. But yeah, right now I'm loving it. I feel like I have enough balance after work. I'm not extremely drained or anything, and so that's really nice. I feel like I have enough energy to work out after work, go to dinner, see friends, do whatever I want to. So that's kind of nice. I think the last step, I'm gonna do lips. I'm not gonna do any mascara just because it is more of my natural makeup, and my eyelashes are very short, so I'm not gonna do mascara. But the lip combo that I'm going to use is Rare Beauty lip liner. This one is in the color, this is the Kind Words matte lip liner in the color Wise. So I'm gonna use that. This is the Rare Beauty tinted lip oil in the color Delight. And then I'm gonna use this MAC cream sheen lipstick in the color Cream in Your Coffee. So I'm just gonna start out with a little bit of lip liner. But I'm so excited to start this YouTube channel. I don't even remember this, but when I was younger, my whole family says that I always said I wanted to be a YouTuber. So I just think it's so funny. I remember I got a camcorder when I was in like 3rd grade, and I should have started back then, but I don't think I even knew about YouTube back then. So that was not on my radar. I think me and my sister just filmed like dance videos or funny videos. So yeah, I'm excited though. I don't know all what I'm gonna do with this channel, but I really like makeup, fashion, anything beauty, and then maybe nursing content. I'm unsure yet. I feel like when I was starting to post on TikTok and try to get into content creation that way, I didn't know if I wanted to do a lot of nursing content. I feel like making videos and content creation is kind of my like creative outlet, and so I didn't know if I wanted to bring nursing into that or not. But then I was thinking about it when I started the YouTube, and I feel like it's such a big part of my life that I just feel like I should include it because it is such a big part of my life. I mean, I go to work as a nurse 5 days a week, and so I feel like it is a lot of my my week. So if you guys have any specific questions about nursing, or if you want specific nursing content, then let me know. But if you also want like beauty, fashion, hair, anything like that, what I am very passionate about and I love to do. So yeah, but this is the makeup look. So this is my kind of everyday makeup. I don't normally do a bunch of lip color, like sometimes I'll do a little bit of lipstick, but I'm liking it. I feel like it's tying the makeup together, especially since everything else is so natural, especially my eyes. Like I don't have any mascara, I don't have any eyeliner on, and so I feel like the lip kind of ties it all together. Thank you for getting ready with me. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video or if you want to see more, then hit the like button and the subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.